know if I answered the question.
Yeah. All of my questions are deliberately wide.
Yeah, you put
so
like a keyword and I'm like...
You can't go off course. I like this breath.
Yeah.
Let's arrive with the breath. You want it?
Yes. Let's do that.
Okay. Singing, really, it's breathing. It's just breathing.
Singing
is breathing.
It is.
It's just breathing.
Yes, it is a very organic action in one's body, actually. This is how I live it, at least.
Very happy for this conversation.
Me too. I'm very excited.
And I am honored also, and it feels fitting to be doing it in Beirut.
Yeah.
Even though both of us have a long-standing connection to Beirut, but neither of us live in Beirut.
Yeah, true.
But I love it here.
And it's a project that was born in the city, and it's kind of strange, or also for me, who's not from Beirut, doing this in Beirut while Zaid is the Beiruti guy who's not there. So it's how the world is becoming the home for everybody.
Dispersed. There's more diaspora than not.
Yeah. And home is kind of everywhere, so I feel connected to Beirut as if it's my own city.
Tell me about this, because I wondered, first of all, I know that you're originally from Syria. When did you come to Beirut and how did this happen? What's the connection?
I grew up in Syria until 2009, and I left directly from Syria to France, to Paris, and I stayed there for 9 years. And when the war the revolution war stopped in Syria, entre parenthèses, in 2018, I decided to leave France and go back to Syria. As soon as I came to Syria, I noticed quite quickly that in order for me to do, because one of the things I wanted to do also is to create a musical project that is coming from the region, because I started to study jazz in Paris, and I did a project under my name. And that it's crazy because it felt like now really when I think about it, it felt like destiny, because the day I came to Beirut, Zaid called me, and Zaid and we weren't friends. Like, we met one time at Tanjar al-Daghat, it's a Syrian band at their place in Hamra and Verdun, and then he contacted me and we became like instant friends. It's like we needed to meet each other at this time of our lives. Even the name of the band was like a joke between me and Zaid. So many things was so natural that it became hard for me, at least, to take it seriously, like we are actually becoming a band, and it was a blessed period of our lives, even though Beirut was going through such a hard time. It was maybe the worst year in Lebanon since maybe the war. It was 2019, 2020, 1 month before the revolution and the COVID happened and all that. So, malgré tout ça, even if this period was maybe one of the darkest here, it allowed us really to become very creative, and we had so much time because time stopped really in the COVID period. So we had nothing to do but take refuge in the studio and work, because there was no studio, no concerts happening, no traveling. The name of the band came also for this feeling of being like Bedouins, meaning I really don't feel I have a place that I can call home, and every place is kind of my home. It's where I meet beautiful people that nourish my soul, and I have found so beautiful people here in Beirut. I have people that I really depend on to survive in Damascus, that I have to go, have sort of a source for my being. Paris, for example, was a place I was talking with the team earlier. There are some beautiful people that I met there, but it's a place where I struggled so much to find my family there, for many reasons. Maybe personal, maybe it's my reaction to the place itself. So yeah, the idea of home and related to this project, but not only that, have changed a lot through the years. Yeah, and politically, what's going on in the world, you notice that the notion of home has to change for us to survive. Unfortunately, we have to connect to the land, and I have so much connection to the land. But some people have this cross, on their shoulder to talk about the land elsewhere also. So, for example, Nomad was a song that was written me and Zaid when we were both in France, for example, where I say Mali Beit. So it's really reflecting this feeling of exile. تحت الورد is a song that I wrote. This is one of the two songs that you told you liked. It was an old song that I wrote following the passing of my husband. Really, regarding Bedouin Burger, there's something very special that it was so smooth and planned everything that it was very slow also. Like everything was going out very slowly. So it started with 2 songs, and I don't remember, maybe 2 years after we did the album or something like that, and we were touring already. So we kind of stopped time by doing this project. I told Zaid that it's great for us to start something next year, but I know, for example, that many people around us and the team wanted us already to compose and to maybe get something out for next year, for example, meaning start to work on new music now. And somehow I just felt that, and thankfully I have Zaid in my life who understands this part, is that I need to breathe, for example, to do something different than Bedouin Burger, to go back a little bit to something that's personal. And I really felt that I won't be able to give something very true to people if I'm not ready. Even if that means that we will have to wait. But maybe we have this possibility. Many artists don't have this possibility. They're all being pushed by the labels to produce. I'm telling you, it's crazy the world we're on. And people, I feel like artists, I feel so bad because there's so little artists that are well surrounded, because a lot of people are being used like a cabrite, like they get burned until they don't have any energy anymore. And I just don't feel like I can personally go through this. And I'm really blessed that Zaid understands that, and we allowed this to calm a little bit and be able to produce new, true music to people.
I love the idea of home in a kind of way that it is nomadic, or that it is movable, or that it is tied to the people more than the land. I think it's an idea that, especially in the region here, everyone kind of has to adopt at some point.
I think it's a survival mode also,
There is a long and complicated relationship between Syria and Lebanon. Some very positive, because it's very much like historically the same culture, a very similar kind of culture.
It was the same.
Exactly, it's the same land. There's no border. The border is drawn on by the French and the British. But at the same time, in modern history, there's a very, at times, antagonistic. Syria has occupied Lebanon, or unofficially occupied Lebanon for a long time, and then it's after 2009, 2010, and then there's a lot of like illegal immigration, if I'll put in quotes. There's just like a lot of movement, and not all of it is positive. So I don't know, reflect on that, if you will, because from someone who first understands the diaspora and that need to move.
I'm just going to say what I have felt when I came to Beirut as a Syrian.
Please.
I did feel that, for example, speaking of the language, I did feel that speaking Arabic all the time was not a very good thing. And in a lot of settings, I was feeling that I had to use my French knowledge or English knowledge to fit in the society somehow. Because in Syria, it's completely the opposite. When you speak French or English, people, think that you are just pretending to be on a higher social level, and they don't really like that. So Arabic proficiency is something that is very respected in Syria, and we studied in Arabic. I studied all my school. I was feeling I'm privileged as a Syrian here, while I'm seeing other Syrian people struggle so much, because they're, we can see that all Syrian people here take the jobs that people don't want to take, basically. So it is very hard for me to accept. Even yesterday we went to a restaurant, all the serveurs or the waiters were Syrian, and I knew that from their accent, but like I was talking to them and kind of understanding what they've been through, and it hurts I'm very hurt about what's happening in Syria until now. Like I'm very disappointed of what happened after the regime fell. I'm definitely not one who suffered as much as what we saw in the Syrian regime. But it's just to say that indeed we learn how in Lebanon people really know how to live, and it's something that is very known in the region. Like everybody says in Syria, Ayishin, Lebanese people. They are really. It's not It's such a small part of this land and this area that learned so much how to live, unfortunately through so much struggles, but it's really so inspiring.
100%.
Yeah, really.
I love that.
It's not because you are Lebanese and I'm Lebanon and say that. Really, it's something that is very inspiring, and I hope I can apply this also to my way of seeing my country, and this is why I'm optimistic also, because there's so many young people now in Damascus and Syria. They're trying to move things forward, and we take example in what happened in Lebanon also, to see where Lebanon is culturally, at least. I know, there's so many things that are not working well here, and it's so much chaos, but on so many ways it's very inspiring.
The moment that we saw a few months ago this regime fall, and there was such, from us, we were based in New York, and we were seeing from afar such a multi-layered struggle for even the story of what was happening. And it was really fascinating in a way that was hard to see, that we, for example, have been working for years to shine a light on this really core injustice in Palestine, for example. And we had, over the past year, seen a really major cultural shift, actually from 2021 and through into that time, that it started to be kind of like the dominant popular imagination, and at least youth and cosmopolitan mainstream culture, that of course, free Palestine. And there started to be a kind of alignment in circles that we would never have seen.
Yeah, true.
And there started to be a kind of we're all kind of pointed in the same direction. And when the regime fell in Syria, it was we couldn't say anything without massive disagreement, argument, and just chaos that we hadn't seen. It's if you want to start an argument, say the word Syria. Because there's clearly what we would try and carve space to listen to Syrian people, to people on our team and their families. They know their aunts and uncles haven't been home in 40 years because they can't. And give Syrian people a moment to celebrate for 5 minutes.
Of course.
We were saying, you would have back at this point had a kind of a more more of a breath. But at the same time, so many people, not wrong, but maybe we can give everyone a moment to breathe and be happy before we start seeing this guy is clearly CIA, Mossad, he's taking, it's bad. It's going from bad to bad. But I don't know, it was just a very interesting time to kind of witness different diaspora, Lebanese, Palestinian, Syrian diaspora, all American commentators, leftist commentators on this. And our first thing we wanted to do is just carve space for people to have a bit of joy in that, because there is something that you can't know unless you've lived it or haven't lived it, to live under dictator for decades and decades, and then once you see this thing gone, there's kind of a breath that people deserve to take.
Yeah, we allowed ourselves to be happy for a while. And definitely I was fighting all my friends who were seeing the alarming presence of this Ahmed Shara. And I was trying to calm them down and saying, no, let's just enjoy this moment. And it was our right also to say that, but it's indeed, I understand why people were also alarmed, especially people who were living there, because I have so many friends who never wanted to leave Syria during the revolution, who are all thinking about leaving now, for example. The division of people, the separation of all of a sudden, when 2011 happened, you had people who went to poles, and now this happened, they're shifting to other poles. So it's what's happening. It's not to I can analyze it for hours and give my opinion, but there is, it seems that there is a plan for Syria to be separated into, I don't know what we call it, fragmented. And it's happening within the Syrian society, unfortunately, by creating chaos and uncertainty and instability and ta'ifiyya, I don't know how you translate ta'ifiyya in English, You know, when you talk about religion, basically.
Sectarianism.
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 Yeah.
We see this clearly as like both a deep-rooted like tribalism, but it's absolutely stirred and fueled by external forces and intelligence, and it's always been a colonial divide and conquer. That's the story of Lebanon today. We're talking. I love this idea that there's clear poles for a while, multi-poles, and then a big shake-up happens and kind of the poles reorganize a bit. For example, in Lebanon, I've seen over the past period of time some of the poles shifting around, like the Hezbollah shifting around alliance or wanting to have any kind of deal with the US or not. But now I feel it's shifting again right now. As we speak, it's shifting again. And it just is really... So then maybe we'll kind of loop back around to what we're here for, is can music be a force to affect all of this?
I think when art is really reflects really the artist's vision, but purely and without any filter, like Ziad had, because Ziad was one of the rare artists that we know in the world who was so true to what he said, to the point that he suffered personally from it. He was alone, and this can change really things. It changed something within people's souls, really, but it's very rare that we encounter this kind of art. It's very rare.
Would you like to sing something?
Yeah.
Well, first.
I mean, I usually don't sing in the. And I told you I don't usually. I'm not a big fan of singing in the.
Well, that's why I'm extra on.
I feel very shy. That's why I'm actually more shy to sing in front of 2-3 people looking at me than like 1,000 people on stage.
I feel you. I 100% feel you, because there's something about the context of that. I think of it like this. There's kind of different planes on which we communicate. There is the everyday, and we're talking blah, 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 what do you want to eat? Or even if we're like, and this deep philosophical thing, it's kind of in this level. And then once we're gonna sing, because it's very much here is like where the spirit world meets the physical world. And that's, for me, what is singing. It's like bridging that. And then so singing, it's at this kind of level. So to bring this in, it's like, you have to feel either like this big energy to do it, or a lot of just intimacy and comfort to do it. So I appreciate very much your willingness.
I am in a good place.
Good. I appreciate very much your willingness. Do you want to tell us about the song?
What do you want me to sing? Do you want me to sing?
I'm wide open. I would just love to, first of all, give the people something special, and also to experience something special.
I have an idea about a very nice Ziad song that I used to love it earlier. So it is like this. ما في حديث والجو تعيس ضيعان كيف خلص الحب بأي حديث ما في حديث لا شو الحديث خلص الحب ما في مجال لأي سؤال إلا بحال بعد حب لك خلا يعني خلص يعني خلص I have the arrangement in my head because it's such a beautiful arrangement. I love this song. So when I'm singing, I'm like having all the band behind me.
It sounds amazing. We can hear it.
Oh my God, it's such a beautiful song. I don't know if it's one of the famous ones, but I definitely love it. Because the word khalas is such a signature. Like khalas.
J'adore. That's the first word in Arabic I learned. Of course. You're like, khalas.
Khalas, yeah, exactly.
First it's khalas, and then it's yalla, depending, or yalla or khalas.
Yeah, it's definitely a key word in our culture. So I'm happy about it.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. you.